Be present in over 150 experiences covering every genre imaginable. Virtual Presence Productions.
All right, welcome to Virtual Presence Podcast. This is for April of 25. Just checking. Nope, still not. This is going to be a little different because we don't really have anybody here. And the reason we don't have anybody here was because there wasn't a whole lot to talk about, and it's embarrassing to not talk about a lot of stuff in front of another person. However, within the last 24 to 48 hours, big shifts, a lot of stuff happening, and I didn't have time to get somebody to come here. So this was going to be me in a VR headset playing in my VRcade, trying to avoid depression at how literally nothing has happened this month. And it's still kind of in that realm. There's a reason I suddenly went crazy and built all this stuff that had nothing to do with VR180, although I did kind of work it in. But the truth of the matter was this month was a lot of waiting and nothing happening, and me trying to just not think about it because I put a ton of work in, and nothing has been coming true. But that is changing. Let me give you some quick updates. FanDuel, nothing there. Now unresponsive to emails and texts. We're to the third. Hey, you were going to come out this month. Yeah. So something's obviously up. That person I was talking to might not work there anymore. Speaking of not working there anymore, our last guest, Mr. John Hefner, was no longer working there when we had our podcast, and we couldn't say where he was working next, but he is now part of Amazon Sports, dealing solely with the broadcast of the NBA. Now, before you guys all get all excited, like, oh God, that's exactly what you wanted. Holy shit. He just got his job. The reason he was able to help me at Bally and FanDuel was because he'd been there for a long time and he could navigate some things. He can't do that right now. And we should not expect him to do that right now because he's got to do his job. He's got to make, he's got to be there for a bit. So the truth of the matter, I'm just happy for him because it sucks getting fired. And as I said in the last podcast, he gets fired better than anybody I've ever known. He had the next job lined up within hours. Literally the same day. Man. So that's his story. But on the good news front, it's from the Dodgers. So this entire last 2 months has been waiting for the Dodgers to agree to release this footage. I'm not sure anybody understands what we're trying to do with virtual presence, so let me just get into this real quick. I don't want this access for me. I don't do this for content. I don't think the needle for mainstream VR180 is going to move when places like Apple release stuff, or Meta. Besides, I don't think they're doing it the right way, but that's a whole different story. But the needle is going to move when these bigger corporations decide, okay, we're willing to do this again. That's the problem right now, is that all of these places got burned by 360 video 10 years ago. This is not a slight to any of the filmmakers that did shit back then. They were ambitious, incredible. The technology just wasn't there, and the viewer retention was not there. It just didn't look good enough to make you ever want to do it more than once. That's what I'm running into. So all I've wanted this entire past a year and a half basically, is to just have the NFL, have the NBA, have a team, have somebody with some clout go, we are doing this, and we are doing this on a regular basis. So the Dodgers, I shot the stuff for their Japanese fan club, and they're going to put out a press release that says Dodgers virtual presence, and that this is how they can get this exclusive look. And it's finally moving forward because the person who has to approve it, they finally talked to him. It took a month for them to talk to him, and we could be meeting tomorrow, it could be Friday, it could be next week, but it's now actually, he has talked to him. The guy does want to see it. That guy is also well connected to the Lakers, so he's going to see a little bit of that LeBron footage. And we're finally getting to the decision makers that will make it so the Dodgers put out a press release and say, we believe in this virtual presence concept. We are doing this. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be able to be seen by more than people just in Japan. But to be perfectly honest, Japan's a massive market. They're madly in love with Ohtani. And it's very obvious to go that route. So that's good. I've been waiting and waiting. Like, why aren't we releasing this? What do you need? It's been done for a month and a half now. But now we know. Now we got the final walkthrough. I'm assuming next week, just because this is how this shit goes. But it could be tomorrow. I don't know. Everything's last second, or like it takes 8 weeks. So, but the next piece of good news is the other side of things, the Raiders, Pete Carroll. I am meeting with him for sure tomorrow, May 1st, to show him a little clip of what we did with his little piece with the love of the game, and then also kind of basically try to verify what the fuck is happening. Because Yoda, the guy I call Yoda, who set all this up, said, yeah, cool, you're shooting training camp. This is all happening. It's good. Don't know exactly when it's going to be. Got to wait for the draft to be done. And now the draft is done. And da-da-da. So I'm hoping, I'm like, oh, Pete, so awesome. I can't wait to work with you. Is it going to be in June? Or, hopefully get some piece of information, because I have none of it. I don't know what the days are. I don't know what's happening. But we didn't want to bother him before the NFL draft, because that's way more important. So I finally get that piece of news tomorrow, which means that the Raiders and the Dodgers should be the first two credible and really big programs to reinvest in VR video of some sort. And again, this all happened 10 years ago. And people got burned. NFL did NFL Immersed, and everybody did they really sunk millions of dollars into this VR video concept. And unfortunately, it just didn't look good enough. They were super talented. They did incredible things. But if it doesn't look good enough, to me, 8K 60 is the floor. That is 4K per eye. That's the floor. The frame rate is right. The resolution is right. Now you can actually engage people to say, I'd like to do it again. What they were doing at the best was 4K 360. So it's actually 2K 180. All right? So 2K 30. So that's the equivalent. It was 30 frames a second. It was 4K, but you were wasting half of the resolution behind you. So what was in front of you was 2K at 30 frames a second. Now we have 8K at 60 frames a second. That's the difference. And hopefully that means we can finally push this into the mainstream, so it's not just an adult film content thing. So that's my April news. I'm excited. Now, honestly, in the last 24 hours, it's been like, ooh, I got the message from the Dodgers that they were ready to meet. And, I'm going to meet with Pete Carroll and show him the stuff. So finally, something good to report. It's tough doing a monthly podcast on virtual presence. But we've documented one hell of a ride, guys. And May should be really, really good. Or maybe June. May might be empty, but May, I think it's going to get released, and we're going to finally get our press release, and that's going to help establish the company. And I think end of May or June is when I'll be in Vegas shooting the Raiders, and then there's all that. So, virtual presence.
Oh, and there's a lot more of these. Please check out my other VRLogs and subscribe and comment. It means the world to me.